Most fighting games you've ever played owe their existence to a happy little accident from 1992, when Street Fighter II introduced a new mechanic that was changed the face of fighting games forever: the combo system. But it wasn't in the design docs. It started off as a glitch. This is the quintessential story of a bug becoming a feature. Street Fighter I's success was lukewarm, mostly because of how punishing the game is. Special moves like the Hadouken are nearly impossible to pull off, and it's not my fault I can't do them.
Sounds like a skill issue.
And apart from that, the only two playable characters was Ryu and his palace swap kin. Everyone else was a boss. To fix these issues, Street Fighter II has a bigger roster, and to fix the so-called skill issue, lead designer Akira Nishitani and his team introduced input leniency to make special moves easier for casual players.
When playing Street Fighter I, to do a special move, your timing needed to be perfect. To do a Hadouken, your inputs needed to be exact and you only had a small window of time to input them, 3 to 4 frames, which is hard, even if you were experienced.
You must defeat Shin Long to stand a chance.
Don't start that again. But in Street Fighter II, you had more time, often 10 to 12 frames or more, to finish a move. This meant you didn't have to be lightning fast to pull it off, and the game accepted close enough inputs. As long as you hit the major points in roughly the right order, the game counted it. You could even miss some diagonals and it would still register, as long as it was in the right general sequence within the leniency window.
They also introduce input buffers. During a medium attack animation, you can enter the inputs for a special, so you can execute said special as soon as possible.
Here's what you should know so far about the game's mechanics. 1. You have more frames to input commands. This is called leniency. You input commands and hit your opponent. These are called active frames. 2. Your character and your opponent have recovery frames. These frames can include things like lowering your leg after a kick or getting up after a hit. 3. Because of buffering, if you attack and then enter commands for a special before your recovery frames end, the computer stores it and you execute after your recovery is over.
The idea was clear. Makes the controls less punishing for new and experienced players.
And that makes you better.
Makes it easier.
I just think you're bad because of reflexes.
What? But, while testing the game, Capcom will find out the unintended consequences for their aspirations.
Consequence of their aspirations? Why do you sound like a Marvel villain?
Because I'm inevitable. Then during testing, they discovered something odd. Let's say you hit your opponent. What should happen is that you make contact with your opponent, go through recovery frames, execute your special as soon as possible, and your opponent has the chance to block. However, through a combination of the leniency and the buffering, there was a glitch where you were actually able to skip your recovery frames and immediately go into your special before your opponent's recovery frames had ended, giving you a guaranteed hit. They created the ability to cancel attacks.
Explain to people what canceling.
Canceling just means you end one move early to start another, skipping the downtime. When Capcom discovered this bug, they were worried it would ruin the game's balance. The goal was to fix how overly punishing Street Fighter I was. A bug that left stunned players unable to block could have broken the game. But after playing with the bug, they realized something. It was fun. According to Akira Nishitani, it was not something we anticipated, but since it didn't cause bugs and added strategic depth, we decided to integrate it into play. Capcom's philosophy was simple. If the bug broke the game, then it was gone. If it was fun, then it stayed. Street Fighter II shipped with the cancellation bug now a feature, but there was no documentation. They left it up to the players to discover it. And boy, did they discover it. They came up with new and creative ways to use it too. After testings, players realized moves that were strong in isolation became absolutely devastating when combined with guaranteed follow-ups. Soon, everyone was making their own combinations. This practice of finding the best combinations or moves to use in battle would prove to be so popular, it would define the fighting game genre. And not in just Street Fighter, but in almost every fighting game since. This was the birth of the combo. You gotta get into the groove. and Capcom would continue to support Street Fighter 2. But continuing to support a game back then was a bit different. Instead of DLCs, they would just release the game again, but with updates and for full price. But Capcom would release multiple versions of Street Fighter 2, each one adding to and building upon the combo system, starting with
Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. Capcom applied balance tweaks to characters and movesets, making combo-capable normals more intentional. The foundation for combo execution shifted from accidental to deliberate skill-based play. Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, released months later as a faster, more aggressive update. Game speed increased, which meant timing for combos had to be sharper, but casual chain combos became easier, using canceled lights or mediums. Character-specific special moves got buffs, enabling smoother chains like My Lightning Legs or Guile's Sonic Boom follow-ups. Super Street Fighter 2, the new challengers. Redesigned movesets with combo capability in mind for new characters like Cammy and Fei Long. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Capcom officially embraced combo mechanics, adding the on-screen combo counter, a visible metric celebrating multi-hit streams. Introduce super combos, powered up meter-based multi-hit moves designed to chain from normals or specials. And expanded air juggle opportunities, enabling combos that launch opponents into the air and follow up with additional hits, creating more dynamic sequences. The system transformed from a hidden exploit into a defining feature of competitive identity.
And Capcom wouldn't be the only ones who utilize some form of combo system. Almost every fighting game, from Mortal Kombat to Killer Instinct, would utilize some version of it and put their own little take on it. Combos became a staple of the fighting game genre, and even found its way outside of fighting games. Technically, when you string a series of jumps together to do a high jump in Mario, that's a combo. Devil May Cry, those are combos. Every juggle, every high string damage attack, all owes its existence to a happy little accident from 1992.
Thanks for watching the video. Make sure you like and subscribe.